Joining us now, Texas State Senator Roland Gutierrez, who represents Uvalde. And sir, I'd be interested in your reaction to the report and also seeing the video and seeing the lack of a response. What do you think was driving so many different members of law enforcement to hold back?
Well, Mika, I've been saying this all along, that we've had systemic failure, human error, communications errors. We have to go back in time, though, as to where this really truly comes from, and it's the neglect of rural Texas by this governor. We've asked for better Wi-Fi. That was one of the principal things mentioned in this report. We've asked for communications in these communities. This community itself asked the governor for $10 million to fix their radio systems, and nothing came about. This is a story of neglect just as much as it is a story of those systemic failures. We have to go back to the very beginning. And what happened here was just atrocious. And like that gentleman said out there, you know, these families, there's nothing new in this report. There's nothing that we didn't already know. The only difference was that they stopped pointing fingers. We've had the Department of Public Safety that had superior firepower and manpower, should have gone in, should have done this. They knew better. They stood around just like everybody else.
And have you gotten any answers? Why did they stand around? Why did officials in your town? Why did state officials? Why did federal? Almost 400, we find out almost 400 officers with guns standing around outside where an active shooter's going in. And my God, and I know you know this better than anybody right now because of the hell you've been through and your community's been through. But it was all very clear after Columbine. If there's an active shooter, the first thing you do is you take that active shooter down. Nothing else matters until that's done. What happened here?
Well, Joe, that's the big question. We heard from Steve McCraw in his own testimony that incident commander is superseded by active shooter protocols. You just simply go in, no questions asked. And therefore, the question is, well, then why didn't your own men, 91 DPS troopers there? There's a guy walking around on the back of his vest. It says Texas Ranger. The big bad cops, you know, the best cops in Texas, supposedly, was walking around talking to someone for 20 minutes on his cell phone while the game warden followed him around with a schematic. I want to know who he was talking to, which supervisor he was talking to, who they were talking to. At what point does Steve McCraw not say, guys, you need to go in now? I mean, those are the people that are accountable most to me, not so much the city cops or the locals, but I need to know why these state troopers that were massed in great numbers didn't go in. On August 4th, we will be going to court. McCraw will be subpoenaed, and hopefully we'll be able to get some of this information. I had to sue them because I've asked these questions and have gotten none back and no answers in return.
State Senator, good morning. This is Jonathan Lemire. I wanted to get your update, what you think about how the state has handled this, in particular Governor Abbott, who in the hours after the shooting praised the response of law enforcement. He then has later said he was misled. He's come under some criticism, though, for not playing much of an active role. Can you enlighten us to that? Has he been in Uvalde? Has he been meeting with the families of those killed? Has he been offering help and comfort?
Listen, I don't want this to sound like some political assault on him, but at the end of the day, I mentioned earlier in another newscast that he hadn't been there since day 3. I was wrong. He hadn't been there since day 5 when the president came in. He came for that day as well. But he hasn't been back to Uvalde. We've had a failed response on giving access to resources to families. Families have been given 2 weeks of lost wages. We have a victims assistance program that can get them as much as $50,000, and the district attorney has not been able to do that. The mayor and I, the very conservative mayor, Republican mayor, and I had to write a letter to Abbott to take those funds and the trauma resources and give them to an outside agency. Luckily, last week, the county shifted that responsibility to an ecumenical group from San Antonio that will be able to administer those funds in a better way. These are the things that Abbott has put in place. And to your point and to your question, no, he hasn't been back since May 29th. He did not go to one single funeral. And the families, quite honestly, many of them didn't want him there. What we need right now, we are 27 days away from school starting. We need a special session to do one thing, to do a very conservative thing. Raise the age limit from 18 to 21 on these nuts. I think it should be more, but at the very least do that, because even Republican voters are in agreement with that one thing.
Well, and who could argue that the families don't need support? So hopefully somebody will hear you. And thank you very much for coming on the show this morning to talk about all of this. It's very painful, but we also don't want to drop this story. We want to stay on it from every angle. Texas State Senator Roland Gutierrez, thank you.